Welcome to WSN's The Zone on Fox. Maine and Melito, Jerry Mercado, and an exciting weekend of high school football starting a day early, Jerry.
Yeah, exciting weekend of high school football, some history made, some playoff teams getting ready to go into the fray.
Absolutely, and the start of the weekend, Thursday night, Southridge, Hanford, playoff football already, and it's the last week of the season. Let's take a look.
The Hanford Falcons came to Lamson Stadium last Thursday to battle for their football playoff lives. First quarter, Zach Gaston. 29-yard pass from Austin Forsyth into the end zone. First blood, Falcons. Will Bishop would come flying into the picture like a guided missile. Bounce off Caden Diaz. This one would injure him. He would not carry the ball again later on in the same quarter. Nice drive here by the Falcons. Jalen Devine, 1-yard touchdown plunge for Devine. Devine, 29 carries, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the evening. Austin Taylor, nice scamper here. He finished with over 100 yards on the night. Second quarter, Jake Oram takes a pass from Austin Forsyth, and he's going to rumble all the way into the end zone for the Falcons. Southridge, though, would get on the board before halftime. Connor Grigg, nice 4-yard run here to keep things interesting. But coming out of halftime, Jalen Devine handing the ball. Watch him hit the home run. That's right, 60-yard touchdown scamper. That would be all the Falcons would need. They'd beat the Southridge Suns 30-14, but they'd have to wait until Friday night to figure out their playoff football fate.
All right, when we come back, we find out if Hanford indeed does make the playoffs or if Kennewick gets the lead title. Could go either way, Jerry.
Definitely could. It's a waiting game.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to WSN's The Zone on Fox. Manny, Jerry with you here at Lamson Stadium. We had a couple of games last weekend on WashingtonSportsNetwork.com from here. Friday night's game decided who was going to be number one. Would it be Kamiakin and Hanford gets into the playoffs? Or would it be Kennewick and Kamiakin gets the number 2 spot? We don't know. So let's enter the first quarter of this game and drawing first blood, the Kamiakin Braves.
Yeah, Kamiakin Braves on Kennewick senior night. Kyle Robertson comes right out on a short slant pass to Brandon Larson, and hey, here we go again. Kamiakin, just like you said, first blood. How would Kennewick respond?
Absolutely. How would they respond? Play action. Caden Julian from Dylan Tenacourt. 8 points because then they hit Bodie Simpson in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Big time plays, and you think, wow, this is going to be a big shootout game.
Yeah, gutsy performance by Dylan Tenacourt and Caden Julian. And a gutsy performance from the Kennewick Lions defense, shutting down Kamiakin every which way. And it seemed like we had the tape on repeat as Dylan Tenacourt would hook up again with Caden Julian, play action. And again, right here, we see the bubble screen, fake bubble screen, and then to Caden Julian once again. That's all in the first half, Manny.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like the key was Dylan Tenacourt throwing a very good ball. He just seemed to float that thing over the defender, and Julian got at least one step on his man and into the end zone.
This is right in stride. These are beautiful throws, and another beautiful throw here, maybe his most impressive one. Under pressure, he rolls out opposite of his throwing hand, throws up a jump pass to Bodie Simpson over here in the corner of the end zone for another touchdown. This is still in the first half, Manny.
Yeah, absolutely. So into the locker room, 27-7. We come out and we think we've been raving how good Dylan Tenacourt does. What happens on their first possession? A hurried throw and an interception.
Yeah. And at this point now, Kennewick just trying to run out the clock. Kamiakin trying to make a comeback here. Kyle Robertson runs into the end zone, but overall the Braves, dismantled by injuries, would run out of time, and Kennewick would come home with the conference crown. The first victory over the Kamiakin Braves since 2005, the first conference crown since 1991, and the first ever Mid-Columbia Conference champions.
A lot of things happening at Lamson. You got to talk to a few players. Let's have a look what they said.
So proud of our boys. Last 3 weeks, we win or we're out, and they just increased their focus and made plays the last 3 weeks. And then tonight was just accumulation and just fun to be part of it.
I have no words to describe it. All through my high school career, they've been taking it to us, but when it counts, we came out with victory.
We knew it was a big game, and we knew that there'd be big distractions. Senior night, homecoming, and we needed to get our jobs done, and we did that. We did what we needed to do.
Jared Bear, it was a great night tonight. We were talking about finding something to play for tonight, whether it be your family, the seniors, the team. I wanted it for the conference title. Who else can say that they were the first Mid-Columbia Conference title holders? I thought that was big tonight. Played with a lot of emotion, maybe a little too much at sometimes, but it's part of the game. It was a fun night.
All right, so the 3As weren't the only ones playing for playoff seeds. The 4As, who will get the number 1 title out of their side of things? Let's have a look.
The Walla Walla Blue Devils at Edgar Brown, the gravel pit, taking on the Chiawana Riverhawks, and Clifton Lozano gets into the end zone early. Nice night for Lozano. This would be a offensive shootout. Turner to Grandstaff for the touchdown. Wahai tying it up. Back come the Riverhawks. Joey Zamora, junior quarterback, hooks up with Dre Dorton for a long touchdown reception, and the offensive fireworks have only just begun. Turner under center. He's going to hit Gilmore on a nice fade route. Trading blows back and forth was the name of the game. Zamora hooks up with Dorton again. Second touchdown reception of the evening. So now a little trickeration. Hona tosses it back to Turner. Back to Hancock's. Wow. Touchdown and the firepower, and here we go again. Turner pump fakes. Hooks up with the receiver in the end zone. 168 yards, 4 touchdowns for Turner, all in the first half. So now a little bit of the ground game. Riverhawks, Austin Urlacher, the sophomore, getting into the end zone. Lozano takes a handoff. Nope, he's going to give it up this time. That would be Forrest Swant on the fumble recovery. What would happen in this game would go right down to the very end. Zamora is going to hand off to Urlacher again from the 35. He's going to go into the end zone untouched. Ensuing drive, Zamora. That's Christian Penny. He's in there. Touchdown, Riverhawks. Last chance for Wahai. Looking for the receiver in the back of the end zone, but it's going to be picked off, and that would seal the deal. Almost 800 yards total offense for these teams. Chiawana comes out on top. Over at Fran Rish, the Richland Bombers would take on the Pasco Bulldogs. It would be all Richland all night long. Touchdowns by McGeorge, Lacala, and Phillips would pace the Bomber attack, shutting out the Pasco Bulldogs 35-0.
So the Bombers,
Wow.
come out with the victory over the Pasco Bulldogs. They take home the number 1 seed. Chiawana once again comes out with a close victory over Walla Walla. Jonah Ho's career comes to an end there. An unbelievable year, over 1,600 yards rushing. You have to believe that he's going to be the MVP for the 4A conference.
Absolutely.
Chiawana is able to find some young runners there, and once again, Austin Urlacher with an incredible performance. Let's take a look at the bracket for the 4A as we set to go into the playoffs.
Brackets and matchups later on in the show, but right now the final standings. Richland, the number 1 seed out of the Mid-Columbia 4A. Chiawana take that number 2 seed. That means Richland will get to stay home. Chiawana will be on the road. Again, we'll have that all for you later on in the show.
Welcome back to WSN's The Zone on Fox. Manny, Jerry, there was more than just the MCC going on Friday night. There was also the Battle of the Bridge, Wenatchee, Eastmont. Let's have a look at that game.
Big 9 football action, week 9 of the 10-week season for the Big 9 and Moses Lake. Justin Simmons using his feet to get into the end zone against the Davis Pirates at Zeffel Stadium. Moses Lake, outside chance at a playoff spot there. Nice touchdown pass by Simmons. He can do it with his feet. He can do it with his arm. The ground game, very strong for Moses Lake. Punching it in again against the Pirates. Justin Simmons through the air, 13 of 21, 256 yards and 2 touchdowns. Moses Lake would take it to the Pirates 53-14. So Friday night, last Friday at Zeffel Stadium, this is Eisenhower taking on Sunnyside. How would they respond? They've had a number of injuries. These Cadets, a good respond there. You see Ridge Harmon taking that first touchdown in for the Cadets. Brandon Curtis on the ground, tumbling, rumbling, stumbling into the end zone. Ike would be in command of this game pretty much the entire way. Sal Marone gonna hook up with Daly to score the touchdown, but kind of the story for this game, Brandon Curtis getting it done on the ground. Eisenhower 21-7 over the Grizzlies. Up in Wenatchee, the battle for the bridge would be a defensive slobber knocker in the rain and mud up there. Isaiah Brandt Sims with the lone touchdown of the game. Wenatchee pulls it out against rival Eastmont. So looking at the Big Nine standings, one more week to play in the Big Nine. Eastmont 6-2. They can take care of business if they beat Moses Lake. So one more week left. Big Nine action to determine the playoff picture.
Obviously, Eastmont has another week where they will go and play Moses Lake, but an impressive year for the Eastmont Wildcats.
Yeah, the Wildcats seemingly the most consistent team in both leagues. So congrats to them so far, and good luck this coming week. Let's talk about the Week 10 Big Nine power rankings, Jay.
Big Nine power rankings, that's right. Week 10, it's going to go all the way to the end. Number 3, the Eisenhower Cadets, hoping for some playoff magic to occur. Wenatchee beating Eastmont. They need to take care of business against Sunnyside and then hope for an Eastmont loss. Eastmont in the driver's seat for the lone playoff spot in the 4A Big Nine.
All right, when we come back, the top players, they will be crowned in the Big Nine and the MCC. Plus your picks, playoff picks. This is where you got to make your money.
Playoff picks coming up.
Playoffs? Yeah, we're talking. Welcome back to WSN's The Zone on Fox. This is it, the final one for 2012, the top 10 players list made by my good buddy Jerry Mercado.
This is it, Manny. This is the finale, the final 10. Who will be the final 10? Who will be WSN's number 1 for the MCC, the very first year in existence?
I have no idea why you're asking me. You made the list.
Let's have a look.
The final top 10 for the Mid-Columbia. Number 10, Caden Julian. Breakout performance against the Kamiakin Braves. One of the top receivers in the league. Most touchdowns receiving in the Mid-Columbia. Number 9, Joe Douglas. Hanford, anchoring that Hanford line. It's done a tremendous job all year long. Joe Douglas looking to take his talents to the next level. Number 8, Clifton Lozano. Over 1,000 yards rushing. 5 touchdowns. Shifty, dynamic back, and just a junior. That's right, coming back for the Riverhawks. Number 7, defensive sack master Kevin Del Angel from the Southridge Suns. Phenomenal year, definitely a player you circle when you're facing the Southridge Suns. At number 6, Alex Weber. Talented, driven. He's got all the tools. Just a junior as well. Looking for a big year, big summer for Alex Weber. Look for big things out of that kid. Number 5, Caden Diaz. Southridge Suns. Over 1,000 yards rushing for Mr. Diaz. 9 touchdowns on the ground. At number 4, Caden Mon. Caden Monster, that's right. This offensive line and defensive line for the Riverhawks has been doing big things. Physical, getting into playoff play. At number 3, Jalen Divine. 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns on the ground. Number 2, Devin Ramos. 1,400 yards. The rushing attack's been crazy in the 3A, but your number 1, WSN number 1, Jonah Ho. 1,600 yards, a school record plus that number 4 all-time performance, 16 touchdowns. Jonah Ho is our number 1 for 2012.
Jonah Ho, number 1, Manny.
Yeah.
I think it's only fitting. Senior, over 1,600 yards. I mean, all-time leading rusher there. I mean, was there any doubt?
No, it was a great debate on Twitter about it, and I think you nailed it right on the head. What about the Big Nine, though?
The Big Nine, we're going to get into, well, we got another week to go. So they're still in the running.
Right.
IBS, Darren Hargrove, Eduardo Salmarone. So let's have a look.
Top 10 Big Nine style, starting off at number 10. Trey Thomas, not just a basketball player, that's right, getting down with the football too. 29 receptions, 373 yards. At number 9, Trenton Osborne. 8 interceptions on the year for Trenton. At number 8, Brett Mosier, Moses Lake, one of the leading receivers in the Big Nine. Rich Harmon falls in at number 7. He's been a playmaker all year for the Eisenhower Cadets. Number 6, Brandon Curtis, another cadet. This one, ground pound, helping to keep the ship upright. And at number 5, Joseph Contreras, Sunnyside, defense and offense out of this young man. At number 4, Justin Simmons. Hey, he's got to be in the talk for MVP this year. He's had a great season, both running and passing. At number 3, Carlos Fajaro. He's been a bright spot for the Davis Pirates. Number 2, Darren Hargrove. Number 3 rusher in the Big Nine, over 1,000 yards. Speaking of yardage, Isaiah Brant Sims still at number 1, 1,200 yards, leading the league in touchdowns with 17, IBS. Taking a look at Jerry's picks for Week 10, look at that Mid-Columbia Conference. Walla Walla taking on Lewis and Clark. At Lewis and Clark, Jerry likes the Blue Devils in this one. Also up in Spokane, Central Valley, Hanford, and Ferris travels to Lamson to take on Southbridge. Now the games that are going to mean a lot here. Chiawana at Gonzaga Prep. Gonzaga Prep 8-1. Chiawana on the upswing, but Jerry likes G Prep in this one. Kamiakin faces University, also up in Spokane. A lot of injuries for Kamiakin. We're going to take University. Meade at Richland. Meade, one of the best teams in the state, could fall to Richland. We'll have to find out. And Shadle Park travels down to Lamson Stadium. Shadle Park with a dynamic passing attack, but the Kennewick Lion defense and offensive power behind Ramos should be enough for a Kennewick Lion victory. Get the rest of the picks and more at WashingtonSportsNetwork.com.
So much exciting stuff going to be happening this coming weekend. Where do we begin with where we're going to be at? Well, I can tell you where you can find out. WashingtonSportsNetwork.com for sure. You can also talk to us on Twitter at Manny Melito, at Jeremy Mercado WSN. Did I get it right this time?
You did.
Wow, the fact that I remembered that. You can also find us on WSN's The Blitz on News Talk 870 KFLD. We have a lot of fun with that show. I get like 10 cups of coffee in me and I just go rapid fire. It's awesome. And then Jerry comes in and he argues everything that I have to say, and it's even funnier. So be sure to take part in all of that stuff. Everything that WSN has to offer, we do it all for you guys. So thank you for so far what's been a great football season. We hope the playoffs become even better.
That's right.
All right, well, have a good night. We'll see you this weekend.